Do you experience the dreaded 3 p.m. crash, where your brain doesn't just feel tired but feels like it is physically wrapped in thick cotton wool? You try to focus, but the words swim on the screen. Or perhaps you know the humiliation of your stomach swelling up hard like a tight drum immediately after a meal, even if you barely ate anything. But the most frustrating symptom of all is the scale. You starve yourself, you exercise, and yet that number refuses to budge while your body silently accumulates dangerous visceral fat around your midsection. You tell yourself, this is just getting older. I am here to tell you that is a lie. This isn't aging, it is a flashing red engine light on your biological dashboard warning you that your system is misfiring. The reason you are stuck is because the advice you have been following is fundamentally broken. You have been told to worship calories in, calories out, or perhaps you fell into the dirty keto trap. You were promised that as long as you cut carbs, you could eat endless amounts of processed bacon, cheese, and grease. This is a biological trap. New research shows that a high intake of saturated fats without the presence of fiber promotes the production of secondary bile acids in your gut. These aren't just digestive fluids, they are toxins that damage your DNA and drive systemic inflammation. By fueling your body this way, you aren't healing, you are simply trading sugar toxicity for a different kind of internal pollution. We are going to prove today that your inability to lose weight or focus isn't a lack of willpower, it is a state of metabolic inflexibility. Your cells have literally forgotten how to switch fuels. Today we are going to fix this using a specific protocol called press and pulse, a strategy designed to starve the rogue cells making you sick, while supercharging your healthy mitochondria. Let's look under the hood to see exactly why your engine is failing. To understand why the weight won't come off, you need to understand a biological phenomenon known as the Warburg effect, combined with deep mitochondrial dysfunction. Healthy human cells are designed to be metabolically flexible. Think of your body like a high-end hybrid car. When fuel is plentiful, it burns gas, which is glucose. But when the tank runs low, it seamlessly switches to electric power, which is fat or ketones. This switch should be instant and effortless. However, in your current state, your cells have become metabolically rigid. Specifically, the damaged or rogue cells in your body have lost their hybrid capability. They are addicted to fermenting sugar. Even when there is plenty of oxygen present, which should allow them to burn fat efficiently, they refuse to switch. They continue to ferment sugar in a primitive, inefficient frenzy because their mitochondria, the cellular engines, are broken. I want you to close your eyes and visualize this happening inside your body right now. Picture your cells as a frantic, overheating factory. Inside, the engines, your mitochondria, are rusted, leaking, and sputtering. Because they are forcing energy out of sugar through fermentation, they are releasing thick, black smoke into the factory floor. This smoke represents reactive oxygen species, or ROS. This biological soot is clogging up the gears and damaging your DNA. Because the factory is running on this dirty fuel, the cell membrane becomes swollen, stiff, and bloated. This is the biological reality of that heavy, lethargic sensation you feel in your limbs. Now imagine what happens when we apply the press-pulse strategy. We effectively cut the sugar line that feeds this factory. The healthy cells in your body don't panic, they are flexible. They simply flip the switch and start burning clean blue flames. These are ketones. But the rogue cells? They cannot make that switch. Visualize those rogue cells starving. Without their constant stream of sugar, they panic. Their membranes begin to lose tension. They start to bleb. Picture the surface of the cell wrinkling and buckling like a dying star. Finally, they collapse inward like a deflated balloon. This process is called apoptosis. It is your body's natural, pre-programmed way of dismantling broken machinery so it doesn't cause trouble later. We are trying to induce this specific cleanup. If you ignore these signs, the damage is not just cosmetic, it is systemic. A landmark study from the University of North Carolina revealed a terrifying statistic. Only 12.2% of American adults are metabolically healthy. That means 88% of the population is suffering from silent insulin resistance. You might not be diabetic yet, but your insulin is chronically elevated. You need to understand that insulin is a growth signal. Its job is to build. When it is always high, it prevents your body from entering maintenance mode. It stops you from cleaning out damaged cells. Instead, you are silently accumulating internal biological trash. Over a decade, this trash accumulates. The DNA damage from that black smoke builds up, and it can turn into polyps. cysts, or tumors. This is not a theory, it is a visible medical fact. We see this mechanism every day in oncology using PET scans. These scans work solely because tumors and rogue cells light up like Christmas trees on the monitor when we inject them with radioactive glucose. That glowing image on the screen proves that these cells are consuming sugar at 20 to 200 times the rate of normal tissue. By constantly feeding yourself frequent meals and dirty carbs, you are keeping the lights on in the wrong house. You might be asking yourself, what on earth does my bloated stomach have to do with the fact that I can't remember my colleague's name at 3 p.m.? We often treat the brain and the belly as two completely separate systems, but biologically they are connected by a superhighway. The reason you are feeling that mental cotton wool is due to a single critical molecule called butyrate. This is the secret language of the gut-brain axis. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid, but don't let the name fool you. It is a powerful signaling compound produced exclusively by healthy gut bacteria when they digest fiber. Its job is profound. It travels from your colon, enters your bloodstream, and crosses into your brain. Once there, it acts as an HDAC inhibitor. Now that sounds like complex chemistry, but visualize it like this. Your DNA is often tightly wound up and inaccessible. Butyrate acts like a key that unzips your DNA to release a specific protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This protein is essentially Miracle-Gro for your neurons. Without butyrate, your brain literally lacks the signal to repair itself or grow new connections. Let's trace exactly how this system fails in your body, step by step, creating a domino effect of destruction. Step 1 is the root cause. It starts with the dirty food we discussed. When you consume a diet high in processed foods, sugar, or even a keto diet that lacks fiber, you are starving a specific family of good bacteria called Faecalibacterium prausnitzii. These are the specific factory workers in your gut responsible for producing butyrate. When you stop feeding them fiber, they die off. When they die, the factory shuts down, and the butyrate supply hits zero. This triggers the second domino, the breach. Your gut lining is just one cell thick. It is held together by delicate structures called tight junctions. You must imagine these exactly like the zipper on a jacket. When the zipper is closed, it keeps food and waste inside the digestive tract and out of your blood. But here is the catch. Butyrate is the fuel that keeps that zipper locked tight. Without it, the tight junctions weaken and fly open. This is what we call leaky gut. Now, toxins, undigested food particles, and bacterial waste leak directly into your bloodstream. This leads to the third and final stage, systemic failure. This inflammation travels through your blood and attacks the blood-brain barrier. This barrier is the brain's own zipper, designed to keep your neural environment pristine, but the systemic inflammation compromises it. When that barrier fails, you get neuroinflammation. You don't feel this as pain. You experience it as crushing fatigue, forgetfulness, anxiety, and that unshakable brain fog. Your gut is literally leaking into your brain. This brings us to a pervasive, damaging myth that is making this condition 10 times worse. You must eat frequent meals to keep your metabolism up. You have likely been told to eat 6 small meals a day to stoke the fire. Biologically, this is a disaster for your gut lining. Here is the reality of your physiology. When you are in a fed state, your gut villi are under immense stress. They are constantly working, absorbing nutrients, and processing chemicals. It is like a restaurant kitchen during the lunch rush. It is chaotic and messy. Your body can only clean up the mess when you enter a fasted state. This triggers a process called autophagy and specifically stimulates the migrating motor complex. Think of this as the night shift cleaning crew coming in to mop the floors, fix the windows, and repair the equipment. During this fasted window, your body literally zippers those tight junctions back together to seal the gut. If you are constantly grazing and snacking from morning until night, you never let the cleaning crew in. You are forcing your gut to work a 24-hour shift with no breaks, keeping your lining permanently open, inflamed, and vulnerable to toxins. So, how do we fix this? To rebuild your metabolic flexibility and seal that leaking gut, you need to execute a tactical changes immediately. First, you must purge the fake health foods from your fridge. The absolute first thing to go is the staple of the dirty keto diet, processed deli meats. I know they are convenient, but they are loaded with nitrates and excessive saturated fats that, without the presence of fiber, create those carcinogenic secondary bile acids we discussed earlier. Every time you eat them, you are sending a chemical inflammatory signal to your gut lining. They are not health foods, they are inflammation bombs. Instead, I want you to shift immediately to a clean keto approach. This is plant-forward. We are talking about high-quality olive oil, avocados, and a very specific biological trick that sounds counterintuitive: resistant starch. This involves taking a white potato, boiling it, and then cooling it down in the fridge for 24 hours before eating it. This cooling process changes the chemical structure of the starch into a fiber that your body cannot digest for calories. Instead, it travels to the colon to feed the Faeculobacterium prausnitzii, the bacteria that make butyrate. You need this specific fiber to bind the toxic bile acids and flush them out, acting as a biological mop. Now, here is the specific press-pulse protocol to break your metabolic rigidity. We are going to treat your metabolism like a muscle that needs to be shocked into growing. Phase 1 is the press. For 21 days, you follow that clean keto diet strictly. Your macros should be 70% healthy fats, 20% protein, and less than 20 grams of net carbs. The goal here is to deplete your stored glycogen reserves and lower your insulin and IGF-1 levels. We are quieting the hormonal noise. You are teaching your body that sugar is no longer an option, forcing those rusted mitochondria to start spinning up their fat-burning turbines. Once you have stabilized, you hit them with phase 2, the pulse. From day 22 to day 26, you execute a 5-day fasting-mimicking diet, or FMD. During these 5 days, you drop your intake to about 800 to 1,100 calories of purely plant-based foods. This acute stress is the magic bullet. It shocks the system, causing a burst of oxidative stress. Remember those rogue cells? They cannot handle this stress. This pulse triggers a massive wave of apoptosis, destroying the weak, senescent cells, while your healthy, flexible cells simply rejuvenate and grow stronger. I know this sounds intense, and the transition can be difficult. If you need immediate relief for the brain fog while you adapt, there is a nutrient hero you can use right now: MCT oil, but it must be specifically C8 or caprylic acid. Most fats you eat have to be digested and slowly travel through your lymphatic system. It's a slow commute. C8 is different. It acts like a biological express train. It bypasses digestion, goes directly to the liver via the portal vein, and is instantly converted into ketones. It provides rescue energy for your brain, bypassing the digestive bottleneck and clearing the fog in minutes. You now have the blueprint to reset your gut and switch on your fat-burning engine.